Meaning that like the insecurity is always going to follow you.
100%.
And it's that balance, right? You're always gonna have to balance your skill and your personality defects, which insecurity is always gonna be a part of that. We all have it. So it's about managing it as you go up and knowing that it's not going away. You have to care for this. If you don't care for it, it's gonna bring you down. You know, like eventually it's gonna bring you down.
This is the plight of the competition. What you just described. That is literally what you are truly struggling with.
In a jiu-jitsu competition sense, you get to experience that in a very micro way.
Yes.
In a very contained way.
Yes, exactly. And that is, you said it so perfectly. That's what when I keep saying to people, you need to compete.
Yeah.
People keep misinterpreting. I don't know how they interpret it actually, but that's what I want for them. Literally that part. I don't care about the result. That's why sometimes I tell people they've lost. I'm like, and I noticed that they were battling with that. Maybe they lost the match, but they actually showed up and they did what they were capable of, which means they didn't default to just falling into their insecurities or giving up and I'm like, yo, I'm so proud of you because I saw that growth. Maybe they don't, but I see it. Mm-hmm. And I know they're on the right path. Because again, that's just a micro scenario for them of managing those two elements. Man, that green line thing is the dopest thing ever over here.
To see Earth, yeah.
Dude, it's the simple things in life, but this microphone thing has really changed my life. All right. Well,
is that your coffee?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Oh, you probably started.
Yep.
Epic.
Saturday morning, Sunday morning.
It's Sunday, dude.
Very different from our usual.
And my throat is completely destroyed.
Yeah, you got the mafia voice.
Oh man, completely destroyed. The amount of screaming that I did.
I hope I don't owe you money because today would be the day.
Yes, where
I would give it back to you.
I would find a way to collect you with all right, man, you don't need to pay. Don't worry. You don't have to pay.
Damn, that's so intimidating.
Yeah, but that is the most intimidating thing.
But you're the guy who always gets people to pay. Nah, for you, it's okay.
For you. You know, it's
We're
fun.
friends, right? We're friends.
That is so funny and so effed up in the same way. But yeah, dude, yesterday was
SAU.
SAU. Carlin's our poster boy for the Montreal.
Yeah.
2025, February 15, SAU.
Championnat d'hiver.
Yeah.
So who was the Winter King?
Who was the Winter King? Dude, I have to say, Carlin's had a crazy match. The poster guy, Fireman Carlin's, he had a crazy match, dude. His final in the gi was crazy. Like, all the credit to his opponent. His opponent was honestly doing everything right for like the first 4 minutes. And then we just kept ragging Carlin's, like, move, come on, go, go, go.
What was the position?
Carlin's was like in bottom side for a while, was in mount. Then the dude had like a locked in bow and arrow on him. Dude, locked in. Carlin's was not even, sorry, Carlin's, wasn't super defending it properly. But the dude at the same time wasn't applying it but he was getting cranked. And I was like, oh, it's over. Dude, he found the way out of that thing, found his way into close guard. There's like 45 seconds left. Gets out of close guard, passes this guy's guard. The guy goes into turtle. He gets like this clock choke position on him.
Yes, that's his thing,
yeah,
man.
And dude, he was losing like, I don't know, at least 10 plus points.
Yeah.
Like there was a huge gap there. And he's got him in that clock choke, and he does that version of it where he gets behind his head, and instead of like throwing the hip over the shoulder, he just uses his other hand to kind of shove the head down. And the guy taps, and Carlin's like, dude, it was, and then after, I wish we could like clip this little moment like he did, he was down. Yeah. So like he was really like
pumped up.
He was pumped, dude. You could see it in his eyes. He was looking around for who's next. I was like, oh man, that was epic. So that cost me 35% of my voice.
Yeah, there it is.
100% in that moment, because when he started passing it, I looked at the clock and I'm like, holy crap. Carlin's, if somebody can do it, it's Carlin's. Like some people don't have the finish in them.
Dude,
he does.
he
Dude.
has that in him, man.
He does, man.
Even when I roll with him sometimes, it's always like I'm good until the last 30 seconds. Then you
Once he
feel it click, and
decides.
you're like, all of a sudden, you're going up against the beast, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's a tidal wave, and he's so strong.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was good. So that was 30. Well, I don't know what number I gave, so we're just gonna give him 130. 35% of my voice dead there, and there are two other people who really stole it from me. I said to myself going in, I was like, Abby, you're not gonna scream your butt off today. Let's just be calm and collected. And I managed to maintain that until Carlins,
Yeah.
Joey.
Who's Joey?
Joey's one of our white belts,
Okay.
and he was in a banger too. It was very fun. And Deanna had me
Deanna.
at my pinnacle.
Deanna Nogi.
Deanna and Nogi,
Really?
yes, yeah, dude. Like I don't know if somebody has the tape of it, but it is just me screaming.
We
at her.
have to, you know what we should do? We know the times, we know the mats.
I know, dude. I checked yesterday. There's no volume on the YouTube feeds.
Yeah, but it's okay. We could add it to the podcast.
You want me to scream again?
No. I'm saying that we could. What do you mean scream again? Why would you have
I'm
to?
saying I was screaming so loud.
No. I don't want you to recreate the screams. I'm saying we could just find the time, find the mat, and make it like a compilation.
Oh, yeah, dude.
For the team, you know.
Bro, I'm insane. I think I got Max. This just says just how crazy I am, bro. I'm not kidding when I say this.
Yeah.
I got home yesterday after a full day of just watching jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Dude, I coached everybody's matches. As soon as I got home, I'm like, there's a bunch of matches that I couldn't see. I literally watched them all.
Nice.
I think I'm pretty sure I watched everybody who's in this school who had a match, and I could speak to it.
Let me give you a suggestion. That's awesome.
It's nuts almost.
Do you screen record?
That is no. I was on my laptop, but
You would have them saved on your laptop.
yes, this is the smartest thing that I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, and then
Yes,
sometimes I'm like,
nice.
where's the time for that guy's match? And I'm playing that game where I start searching for their
For their match.
timestamps, even though I had just watched it like maybe 30 minutes ago. I'm like, wait a second, let me rewatch their match. And now I've lost it. I don't even remember what mat it's on.
Yeah.
I got to go into the bracket. It's a whole
Hey,
storyline.
it's a lot of information, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I have a couple of insights, if you want, that I feel,
Yeah.
man, after having watched everybody live and then again kind of through the stream, dude, the people who win
Yeah.
legitimately are the people who do the basic things.
Yes.
I mean, it was never so apparent to me than it was yesterday for some odd reason.
Okay.
I just saw, anytime I saw people do the things that they're being taught, like stand up in close guard, literally, as soon as people are actually doing the little things that we keep pushing, they end up winning their matches. As soon as you have a little bit of that momentum on your side,
Yep.
they're always capable of carrying that momentum all the way till the end.
Yeah.
What screws everybody up is when they go off the rails. As soon as you go off the rails, and as soon as you deflect from whatever plan or whatever system and just go into like fight or flight, I'm just gonna, they always lose. Literally, they always lose. But as soon as they come back, and some of them come back through coaching or through their own experience, they just come back to normal, and I see them settle in and actually do jiu-jitsu, they always win the match. I know it sounds silly to say.
No, it doesn't sound silly at all. I mean,
It's just like reminder, like do jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, like stick to the basics. That's, I think, a thing that I'm realizing now in like my like latest blue belt is that the techniques that work are the first techniques that I've learned. But the only reason why I wasn't doing them was because I just wasn't doing them properly. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like,
So you don't believe in them.
yeah, or like you're not doing them fully. It's like telling a depressed person that all they need to do is go take a walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's like your problem seemed so much bigger than that, that simple answer cannot be the solution to what feels to you like a big problem, because they're such simple techniques that you would think, dude, I'm getting smashed. This is not the answer. It's more than that. But also, it is a thing of experience. If I'm getting to that now, at the stage where I'm at now, it could be that I'm a slow learner, but it might also just be that experience has caught up to the point to where now I can put all of these things together and have a game.
Well,
But
I
you're,
completely agree.
yeah.
But I completely agree with what you're saying. When you were saying the like go take a walk for a depressed person, it's like, or somebody who's angry and you're like, bro, calm down.
Yeah,
like,
or
bro,
like,
I'm not coming down.
or like
I'm
take
not coming
10
down.
deep breaths.
Yeah, like
it's
F
almost
you.
it's almost insulting
It
sometimes.
literally is,
It's like, you want me to breathe? I want to
Yeah.
fucking burn this building
Yeah,
down,
it's nuts.
motherfucker.
Yeah, I get it.
But
yeah.
it would be like the same thing if like you're in a closed guard and a person is starting to work a grip and everyone is yelling, break the grip.
Yes.
You're like, I'm not trying to break the grip right now, but that
Yes.
is the right answer.
That is the right answer. And it's hard. And if you don't know how to do it, and you don't have the reps, and you haven't been putting the reps in, to have that ease in that scenario in regards to kind of making that an automatic or even making that a possibility, because breaking a grip is not easy.
It's not easy because
don't know how
you if you're not, like, let's say an example, just like a technical jargon thing, right? If you're in someone's closed guard and they got a grip on you, and you're not based on your ass to where you can remove your hands to come here, he's gonna break your posture down every single time.
Yes.
So it is simple. It's so easy to yell out to someone to break the grip.
Yes.
But then every time they do this, they get flung forward. So in their mind, they're like, no, I can't break the grip because I'm in danger every time I try.
Yes.
So it's like
they
this
can't
thing
even
of
find their
like
balance to be able to get their hands up. Like it's a disaster.
the right answer sometimes. The simplest answer that's the right answer actually needs work.
Yes.
You need to work at it.
And it's true what you're saying. It demands other elements that are invisible,
Yeah.
that are necessary. Like you're saying, like having like a solid base, having like a good posture. Like you can't just break a grip if your posture is completely busted out. But yeah, I agree. And it's tough to hear because then you start to think in your mind like, they're saying it like it's so easy and I can't do it. Must be something.
It must be that I suck.
Yeah, must be something wrong with me and that I suck, but not realizing that, like, hey, no, you don't suck. It's just, this is everybody's plight.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you keep trying to do this thing that we're asking you to do, eventually, like riding a bike, like you're going to just figure out the invisible elements, like I'm not telling you when you're riding a bike, like, make sure to manage your balance, make sure to do this, like we're not saying all of these odd things that your body actually has to do in order to stay on the bike. We're just saying break the grip.
Yeah.
We're just saying pedal your feet, get some momentum.
But even if you would want to teach the person by giving them all the details in the world, for a new person, that might be just too much.
It's silly.
Yeah, and that might be also frustrating, learning is frustrating. That's
so frustrating.
That's the bottom line. When you're new at something and you're trying to learn, like there's that song, It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll?
I don't, but it sounds awesome.
It's by AC/DC. Before they had the singer that they had now, they had another one. And there's a video, dude. It's a great video. It's them on like a trailer playing that song. It's a hard way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Epic.
And then in the song, they kind of like describe everything that a band has to do to get to the level where they're at now, like
Wow.
get fucked by your managers,
Yeah.
play in the shitty bars, get into fights, have people throwing balls at you. And then it always goes back to the chorus. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. It's
that.
so good, bro.
That's so true, man. That's the process.
Every time I listen to that song, like, it's a dumb rock and roll song about, a band going through hell to get some type of attention, right? But every time I listen to that song, I'm like, that song is true for whatever you want to do in life. You always got to get fucking, pulled through the dirt before you can be like, okay, I think I got this. I'm good now.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah,
that's
bro.
so real, dude, and I love that. And like that's the process,
Yeah.
right? That they're
Yeah.
describing, like, and it's crazy, dude. But success is a formula. Like, as silly as that sounds, not silly, as scientific as that sounds, it is a formula.
It's a formula, but you need faith. You need
That's
blind
part of
faith.
the formula.
That is part of the formula. Yeah.
know?
You have to know that you're on the right track, even though it really doesn't feel like you're on the right track, but like really doesn't.
Yes.
Right? Like
Yes.
everything is, especially, and it's evident with a sport like jiu-jitsu where you're literally getting physically beat up. Why would you want to put your body through that?
It's true, dude.
I mean, I guess it's like that with everything else in life, like, wow.
It's the reality, dude.
Yeah.
We always come back to kind of the same things. But yeah, it was fun yesterday. Like, again, watching some people, I was so impressed by a lot of our team, dude. Like, I go back in it in my mind, and I'm not just impressed by the people who won. I'm impressed by some of the people who showed up and like who actually like competed. It's tough to compete, man. Like, hey, we got something coming up next week.
Next weekend, right?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Yep.
Hope you're ready.
It was good for me to be at the SAU. I didn't stay long. I had for the people watching, I know I'm normally there at like every one, and I stay with the team the entire time. Did you guys go out to eat?
They did, but I was like,
Yeah. Where'd they go? Oh, they went at
Dobie
and Andy's.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
I love
no,
that
I
place,
love that
man.
place too. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I've actually been thinking about going there. But anyways, I had a big day today, so I couldn't stay yesterday.
Fair,
and
man.
sometimes that's life,
That's life.
and
Yeah, you gotta
that's what it
prioritize.
is. But
Yeah.
I just love seeing our team out together because I feel like everyone is smiling, everyone's having a good time. Like we're not a team where there's like nerves and everyone's acting like a tough guy or like like everyone is just. It's such a cool vibe.
That was a great vibe, honestly. Like, we have our little section in the stands. That was a cool vibe.
And we always end up in that spot.
Well, yeah. Well, as Mateo says, like that's the Carlson spot. He's like, it gives you quick access to the
To the ring. You could
Not
you
only
just
to the ring, but
go
to
down the
the-
stairs.
to the. Ooh, what is wrong with me?
Bullpen?
Yes, not the bullpen. Sorry, dude. Where you practice to warm up.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a word for that. The warm-up mats? I guess warm-up mats.
Yeah.
I felt like there was another word for it. But anyways, it also gives you quick access to the warm-up mats. So it's not only access to the mats, but it also gives you access to the warm-up. So it's a great spot.
Yeah.
Corner. It's epic. Anyways, that's our spot. But yeah, so many people that really wowed me. Like, again, if I go in my mind like super quickly, man, I hope I don't miss anybody, but Alexandra really wowed me yesterday in her matches.
'Kay.
3 matches.
Gi or no gi?
Gi. Alexandra is a gi person.
Yeah, okay.
3 matches to get to win gold.
Amazing.
And
Holy shit.
Fighting up a weight class. So both her and Anouk were fighting up a weight class. Dude, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, fighting up a weight class is a big deal. It's a huge amount of weight that you're giving up, and you feel it when you're like, ooh, this person's,
Yeah.
this is a different vibe, And I get it, they're already little, so they're always fighting up, but that's not to be taken for granted. Like, she's small.
Did you coach her?
I think Mortaza coached most of her matches because, no, actually Mortaza coached most of her matches except in her final, in the last 20 seconds, I just so happened to be walking by because I was going from mat to mat, and I saw her having the girl in a triangle, and I was like, oh, she's just missing a little piece. I was like, create your angle. And then she's like, choop, choop, choop. And then like, she really locked it in, and honestly,
Wow.
1 or 2 more seconds and it was game over, but the time had elapsed, and I think she was already winning like 13-0 or something
Okay.
like that. So she ended up getting gold. But what was so impressive about her matches was how she was getting up out of close guard, dude. She was getting up so effortlessly out of these, like, she was not effortlessly, but when she decided to get up, she was getting up. And then the person would go for the dummy sweep, and Alex would just reach down, strip the grips, take the sleeve grip, and then just start passing. And like she did that so efficiently. And then she also, in one
That's
of
a
her,
Matthias move, right?
I was like, wow, this is A1. And then when the person is on the receiving end of that, they're just distraught. And she passes really well, you know? So like she circles. She did that incredibly well. And she also, me and her, she spoke to me on Thursday at noon. So 2 days before the tournament. She's like, hey, help me with this one half guard pass. I showed her that. She implemented it in the finals.
What was the pass? The pass?
When you're top half guard and then you switch your hip so that you give the person your back and you get a reverse cross face so that you can free your knee. Once your knee pokes out, you go into mount. Exactly how I showed her. I mean, exactly. And I was like, wow, perfect. So Alexandra, 3 matches, hard matches against girls that she was fighting up. She got a gold medal, which was honestly very, 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 very,
Very
cool.
inspiring.
Very inspiring. Watching her move, she even took a shot, dude, at one point. I think, I don't know, we can ask her, but she took a shot to the face, either a knee or an elbow or something, so her nose started bleeding. They had to plug it, and I think she had to do her finals with like her plugged nose.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it was
amazing.
dope, dude. Like it just adds a layer when you're like,
Yeah.
So yeah, she was awesome. Aside from her, like other kind of like very memorable matches, Owen had a really great match. Like his first match in his division, he ended up armbarring his opponent, and honestly, I've never seen him do that in the training room. I told him that. I was like, dude, you're doing things in a tournament that I never see you do here. Like, and you did it effortlessly. You know, like the guy's arm was extended. He just stepped right over the guy's arm and boom, like.
From enclosed?
He had like he was passing, and so he was kind of in side control, and the guy was trying to turn away, and as the person was turning away, he threw the leg.
He grabbed
threw the
the
leg
arm.
over the torso. The arm was already extended. The guy was making that mistake. He threw the leg over the torso, and he did like a 3/4 arm bar, you know, with the other foot kind of against.
On the neck?
No, underneath the kind of shoulder blade.
Okay.
You know, I was like, what the hell? And it was honestly super, super, super cool. Another really epic performance was Brandon. Oh, no, wait, sorry. Sasha.
Yeah.
Big Sasha.
Big Sasha, okay.
Yes. Big Sasha.
Explosions. Explosive
Dude.
Sasha.
Big Sasha?
Action star Sasha.
Match. The guy had 4 matches.
What a good dude! And he's been training what, like once a month?
I can't explain it. I'm like, he's like, you know, sometimes I feel better when I don't train. I'm like, Sasha, listen to me carefully. You cannot be this. I know what's happening here is telling you to keep being this guy.
I know.
But we cannot be this guy.
If he trained, I'm not saying change your personality and become like a like a disciplined human being. I get that he's like a young, fun kid with a lot of energy, and he's like a silly goose.
Yes.
Be a silly goose, but dude, if he trained more, the potential he has.
I know. Like I could communicate, and I'm always gonna be, and like I hope he hears this. I'm always gonna be hard on him. I'm never gonna be like, you're awesome. No, Sasha, you're never gonna get that from me, because honestly, I'm only gauging you, and this is based on our conversation yesterday, on living up to your potential.
Yeah.
So I'm never gonna. I'm as proud as I am of you. I'm actually not proud of you as well, because it bothers me that you don't train enough.
Right.
But that said, you know, I love the kid with all my heart. Dude, when I tell you, he had 4 matches, I mean, he just smoked that division.
Yeah.
Again, he hasn't trained, and he smoked that division.
No, that
I don't think, of the 4 matches, I don't think if we tabulate all the time, I don't think it's 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, a minute and a half armbar, 30 seconds armbar, a minute and a half triangle, a minute and a half armbar. Like, dude, wipe those people out. Didn't even sweat. He smoked everybody in that division. The kid had a near. There was one very silly thing, but a near perfect performance. So big shout out to him. But again, F you, Sasha. Like, Keep training.
Yeah.
Don't take
Yeah.
this shit for granted. This works at white belt maybe, but later on you're gonna fall on the guy the Kobe and the Michaels who have been putting in the work.
Yes.
And you're
Guys-
never gonna bridge that gap.
Guys who are just like you, but who train.
Who train, and you'll never bridge that gap. Once they've put 2 years of training 4 or 5 times a week
Yeah.
between you and them, the only feeling you're gonna be left with is defeat, and you're gonna give up. I tell you straight up, that's the way that story ends.
That's true. Yeah. If jiu-jitsu is to be something that just naturally talented people want to do for a long time, that is probably what happens. If they don't train enough, then eventually the natural talent gap closes in, and the people who are just as naturally talented as you, who have been training, go way further.
Way further, dude.
And
You don't see it coming.
It's almost like I mean, it is I don't want to say wasted potential, because I don't like the feeling of that.
At the end of that story, it becomes you're gonna feel the feeling of a loss. You rested on the wrong things.
If you let yourself feel that,
Well, yeah, that could be just your journey.
yeah, there's something to say with guys like that who are just naturally talented, or I don't know what it is, but
I'll put my finger on it when you finish your thought.
Okay. Confidence is such like if you have confidence, like that natural confidence, I feel like it can go a very long way. Like, even so, now we have an example of a naturally talented kid who is very, very confident, and it's working for him. But like Gordon Ryan, one of his biggest attributes is confidence. Like, there's something to say about self-belief and confidence. If you mix that with discipline, I mean, I think you can do a lot. Like, and it's it's weird, because for me, confidence would ruin me, because it doesn't work for me. I need humility. The way that I can move forward in life is through humility. It's through me knowing that I don't have the answers, and I need to be open to the answers, right? So that way I'm more teachable, I'm more relaxed, I don't act on impulse, and I can kind of learn. But there's these other breed of people who are just so confident that they fucking kill it in life just on what seems to be pure self-belief.
You touched the hornet's nest. Like, I have so many thoughts on this. I almost don't know which way to go, but
Does it make you want to fight me?
not at all. I love you. It makes because you're right about what you're saying. You're right. There's a way where we're mixing some elements. You do, like, even Gordon Ryan has a huge level of humility. When it comes to John Danaher, his coach,
Yes.
he has a huge, insane level of humility.
Yes.
He attributes everything to that man and his teachings.
So yeah, I've been on a spiritual kick and a God kick. So in that formula, you would have Gordon Ryan, the spiritual person, right? And then the power greater than him would be John Danaher. So he would be surrendering to John Danaher. Like, you need to surrender somewhere, I think. Does that make sense?
Yes. Because I think that void of that falls into pure arrogance.
Yeah.
And that pure arrogance leads nowhere.
Nowhere, dude.
So even within the crazies, and it's weird, dude. There's so many things that have to live simultaneously in somebody. Gordon Ryan is literally the most insecure person on this planet almost. He's so insecure that it's almost it's almost a joke. So he has this super confidence, but dude, the level of insecurity that this man displays is it's insane to what extent
And
he's
you
insecure.
and you see it this being displayed by what, through his shit talking or
the
through
way he
his
talks, the way he-
obsessive trolling or
Trolling, the way he speaks to others, like his need to be seen and his need to be the best
Right.
is like a level of insecurity.
it's driven by some insecurity.
So, not some dude. In his case, like it's in every word that
Yeah.
he speaks. It's his life mission is to, even at this level,
It's to prove himself.
yeah. At this level, you've achieved so much. He feels it, but bro, deep down inside,
Yeah.
he's still so deeply insecure. So these things always, one cannot live without the other. As much as somebody can be self-confident, there is also that darker side, or that the other side to that coin that must be there. And the more that you have of one, the more honestly the other one does exist. We just maybe don't get access to it.
But I think it doesn't have to exist. I think, again, it's like it's like it is a little bit about who you're turning your will over to, right? So like, let's say like Gordon Ryan has John Danaher for the jiu-jitsu, but he's not turning his insecurity over to, let's say, another power greater than himself, right? You know what I mean?
No, sorry, one more time.
Okay, so Gordon Ryan, he's great at jiu-jitsu because he's turning his learning of jiu-jitsu over to a power greater than himself, who is John Danaher.
Yes.
Right? So now he is the best at jiu-jitsu because he is turning his will over to the best jiu-jitsu coach, okay?
Yes.
At the same time, so that's like one part of Gordon Ryan is jiu-jitsu, okay?
Yes.
Now we have the insecure part, or the personality part. Let's just call it the insecure part of jiu-jitsu, okay?
Of Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, of Gordon Ryan.
Yes.
Gordon Ryan isn't turning that part of himself over to a power greater than himself to help him
Yes.
to not be that.
Yes.
And I think you can do both. I think he could be great at jiu-jitsu because of the John Danaher coach, and then I think he could also be a more secure, more loving human being if he were to turn that over to whatever a power greater than himself of his own understanding, you know, but to help him in that department.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because in my mind I was saying, is it possible to be that great and not be insecure? And I had to check myself and think,
It is.
I think it is, but you just
Absolutely
need,
it is.
you need to turn that over to, you know, just like he's doing with jiu-jitsu, you would have to turn it over to like,
XYZ.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have example. I think the world has.
Are
given
there
us,
though? That's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I
Who
think so.
is the Michael Jordan who is not insecure?
who gets all the way up there? I mean, there's like superstar status.
GSP.
I had George St. Pierre in my mind as well. Like, like I was like, there's GSP, but like, is there bigger? Like, for some odd reason, Lionel Messi, like, tends to, I feel, scratch that. Like, there's never been anything about that man that has given off this, like,
Insecurity?
insecurity of, like, I need to destroy all of you.
But doesn't he seem too nice though?
You see, like, he's maybe that, he could be that other thing that you're mentioning.
You know, it's
Like Ronaldo, no. Ronaldo is insecurity a little bit, like,
Okay.
I don't know, again, you would have to know a little bit more, but he's powerful. I mean, these guys are powerful. They live within that balance of, like, this self-confidence and insecure, but, like, those things raise at the same level.
Yeah.
Because the higher, and this goes back to kind of some of the performance stuff, the higher the stakes are,
Yeah.
the higher the stakes are, so
yeah. That's
you're
that-
on the line
yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
you're not in front of
Yeah.
like 10 people at the gym. Now you're not in front of hundreds of people like at SAU. It's thousands, and then it's millions, and then it's tens of millions. Then it's literally the world stage.
You know what?
For like a international soccer
Yeah.
player.
You know what I think it is? I think you can't no matter what you're doing in life, you have to bring both of them with you. Meaning that like the insecurity is always going to follow you.
100%.
And it's that balance, right? You're always going to have to balance your skill and your personality defects, which insecurity is always going to be a part of that. We all have it. So it's about managing it as you go up and knowing that it's not going away. You have to care for this. If you don't care for it, it's going to bring you down. You know, like eventually it's going to bring you down.
This is the plight of the competition. What you just
Yeah.
described. That is literally
That's right. Yeah,
what
that's
you are
right.
truly
Yeah.
struggling with.
In a jiu-jitsu competition sense, you get to experience that in a very micro way.
Yes.
In a very contained way.
Yes, exactly. And that is, you said it so perfectly. That's what when I keep saying to people, you need to compete.
Yeah.
People keep misinterpreting. I don't know how they interpret it actually, but that's what I want for them. Literally that part. I don't care about the result. That's why sometimes I tell people they've lost. I'm like, and I noticed that they were battling with that. Maybe they lost the match, but they actually showed up and they did what they were capable of, which means they didn't default to just falling into their insecurities or giving up and I'm like, yo, I'm so proud of you because I saw that growth. Maybe they don't, but I see it. And I know they're on the right path. Because again, that's just a micro scenario for them of managing those two elements.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's came through.
It's really about managing what's inside you with kindness. Like, I'm sorry to sound pink, but it is that because I go through phases, right? I've competed in jiu-jitsu. I think the only way that I've competed in jiu-jitsu was through the darkness, bro.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I've never. When I watch you, I don't pick up on that.
You don't think that I'm a bad loser when I lose my matches and I just go in a corner and I'm just like, fuck this shit. I hate. Yeah,
you
exactly.
are an ogre, dude.
I know,
You
bro.
sit there like,
I hate it.
Yeah.
Nobody talk to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's me doing it wrong, man. You know,
that part.
that's me missing the point. You know, I'm missing my opportunity to. Yeah, dude. Like when you're like that, you're not learning. You're actually missing an opportunity because when I'm like that, I'm so focused on the outcome that if I don't get the outcome, I throw all of the rest of the experience in the garbage and I take nothing from it. The only thing that I take from it is
a feeling of
I
loss.
didn't lose. Fuck this. You know what I mean?
I did lose.
I did lose. Fuck this. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And in yesterday's competition, without naming names, some people had, multiple matches because their bracket was like, let's say a 4-person bracket. So they would have like their initial match, but then they would get dumped into like a fight for third place because there were 4 people in the bracket. And when you couldn't get over the loss, let's say, of your first match.
Yes.
And you're still there, and I'm telling you, hey, listen, we need to move past this. The dwelling over your loss, there is something happening there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you extrapolate that into like a bigger sense, that is a little bit of an MO that some people might have.
Yeah.
And that MO is not a learning. It's not
It's
a
not.
growth.
It's not.
And it's crippling.
Yes, it
And
is.
you see
it is.
how crippling it is. Why? Because then in your next match,
Yeah.
if you were at 50% in match 1, 50% of your capacities and your capabilities, now that you've adopted the failure as kind of like a representation of something bigger than just an outcome that just happened, now you are literally at like 10% of your capacity.
Yeah.
You have maybe the first 20 seconds of that match, you have some sort of weird hurrah, and then as soon as you're in the slightest of bad positions, your mind has already given up. The match is already over. And that's what happens when you give in to that kind of thought process. We're not growing. We took nothing from that.
Yeah.
From the
Really wanting an outcome robs you from the ability to learn clearly, like with a clear mind, you know? I think that's what it is. I would have been that guy. if I want first place and now I have a third place match, dude, I might not even step on the mat. I might just say, fuck it, take your dumbass bronze medal. But like, that's not even nice to the person who wants to fucking compete, you know? It's
Because
so...
that other guy that you're going up against in the third place match,
Yeah.
he also lost.
Yeah,
You don't even consider for a second because
Yeah.
you're so in your own
Yes, exactly.
crud.
Yeah.
That like, yo, there's still an opportunity here for me to show up and for this other guy as well who, you know, let's have a match.
Yeah.
Like, there is a mutual kind of like benefit.
Like we can still...
we can still make something of
respect
this.
each other. We can
Yes.
still have a good match. We can still learn something from this match, you know? Like...
Yes.
But yeah, you know what it is? Going for an outcome is actually selfish. You're really just thinking about yourself.
Absolutely.
You're not thinking about anything else. You know what I mean? That's yeah.
It is. No, dude.
Yeah.
It's super real. And that is the point. This whole process, we're not so all over the place, but for those who understand, they get what we're saying.
Yeah.
That is why we compete. Again, there's a difference between getting the result that you want, let's
Yeah.
use that word, and the outcome. The outcome is, you need to work on, like another great example. Ayman yesterday, he had a couple of matches.
Yeah.
First match comes out, he's got the right energy. I'm not seeing any stress. The guy pulls, Ayman, I'm pretty sure the guy pulls, or maybe Ayman might have put him down, but regardless, we're in that scenario. And Ayman was not super diligent in terms of controlling the guy's legs. The guy threw up a triangle and he got him. He got him in the first 35 seconds of the match. Now, does that have to be a representation of Ayman's jiu-jitsu? Absolutely not. Ayman's
No,
jiu-jitsu
because we know that
he-
Ayman is good on the mats here.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's very good,
Yeah.
and the things that he's developing are high-level techniques. He got caught.
Yeah.
Okay. And he rightfully was like, hey, I got caught, and he's laughing, and he's like, now I know I'll never make that mistake again. Beauty.
Yeah.
Perfect attitude. Perfect, literally. Okay, man, you got caught. Anybody can get caught. Anybody. Like, some guys have these, flashy, fast submissions. But anybody can get caught. A black belt can get caught by, a blue belt who has, a quick,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You got caught. Take the lesson. Don't be down. He's like, now I'm going to know, and it'll never happen again, hopefully. He has his second match because he was in a 4-person bracket. Bro, smokes the guy. Smokes the guy. Did everything right, gets his submission. It was beautiful. He was De La Riva, threatening the back, tried to get under the guy a few times.
Nice.
He destroyed him. And it was perfect. The prime example of something happened, you can either be down and out about it, or you can look at it for what it is. Okay, man, you got caught. Big shit. Everybody gets caught. Let's put it aside. Mental note. Okay, I know now. I'm going to be a little bit more diligent and not so loose in that position. It won't happen again. Goes into his next match. Under 2 minutes, subs the guy. That's a prime example of you got two incredible outcomes. You got an incredible learning in your first match. Even though you were the one to get subbed, you now have a lesson that I think will stick with you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And in your other match, you proved to yourself that you're capable of doing jiu-jitsu. You did it, and you subbed the guy with clean jiu-jitsu and a clean trajectory.
Yeah. And you're also
beautiful.
And you're also a great example for everyone who watched. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
very
that's also kind of a value that you can bring.
Yes, you're showing, you don't have that give up. Dude, another big match. Coach Mateus at the black belt.
I saw some of them on
Oh
Instagram.
my God. Dude, his last match.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach has no give up in him, dude. Bro, to the last second, to the last inch of his energy, that man is willing to die on his shield, in the realest way. Was just giving his all. He came up a little short in the final of the Absolute,
Okay.
but I think he lost 2-0. But man, in the final like 30 seconds, like they were both on their feet, and he was trying to shoot for like a takedown so that he could be back in the game, and he was spent, dude, because he had spent the whole match trying to pass the other black belt's guard, and that guy had a very very good guard. And in the last 30 seconds, like with everybody kind of cheering him on, like he was like trying to shoot for doubles, like landing on his face, and he's like, no, like like practically like scraping the earth to kind of be like, I'm gonna try and put my hands on you and put you down, like. And for me, those are the greatest Mateus moments. Those moments are the greatest Mateus. This is super selfish. I want him to win 1 million gold medals, but for me, Abby, selfishly, when I see him struggle and push, it does way more for me than when I see him get the armbar.
There's a famous quote that says, "There's no greater sight than seeing a great man face adversity."
It's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yes. It's so beautiful, dude. His first match, like 30 seconds, he armbars the guy, like I think in the division or somewhere, one of his matches. That does, again, selfishly for me, it does nothing for me. I'm like, epic, awesome. Yeah. I love him. Good. I want him to have 100,000 gold medals. But dude, when I see him at his limit like that, it's that quote that you just made. I'm just so inspired. Yeah. I'm just like, damn, I gotta be that. Like I wanna be in a match where like I lose, but like, man, I'm almost dead at the end. Kind of like that scene. Have you ever seen The Last Samurai?
With
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise? Yeah, I've seen it a long time ago.
There's a scene where like once like he just joins like that village in like
Japan?
in Japan, like they take him to the thing, and then like the dude wants to fight with him, kind of like they're holding sticks, but like sword style, and like he just keeps beating him up, but he just keeps getting up. And the samurai guy's like, dude, like he's almost dead, like passed out, and like he realizes that he has to literally knock him out unconscious for this to stop, because he's going to constantly keep getting back up to his feet. Yeah. That's, even though the other guy is winning, there's something about that where you're just like, that's the...
that's... All right, I'm going to be a geek here. That's like every Greek mythology story.
It's the best.
It's always this like almost immortal man, right? Always like half god, half human, big, everybody loves him, like cannot be fucked with. And then he goes out on an adventure and almost dies at every single, turn of a corner, It's like that's, for some reason, we've been inspired by that type of hero's journey. The hero's journey isn't an easy one, bro. It's actually a very, very hard, difficult one. Yes. And it's one that you have to have been prepared for. Like we actually prepare ourselves for hard things, Like it doesn't mean that you're well trained and well prepared that you're gonna show up to whatever you're showing up to and just kill it, You're still going to have all that adversity and all that. And again, it's like, it's not even about the outcome. I think it's about the journey of like, you were well enough within yourself and clear-minded enough within yourself to go through all of that preparation, even though you were nervous, and then you got there, and then you faced the adversity. And then whatever the outcome is, you're going to learn something from it, right?
I mean, listen, I don't know what this says about me, but I'm a huge sap for that. Like, I love that. Yeah. I mean, I love it, dude. Like, I love it on a level that is, I don't know, it touches, like, a special thing in me. Like, it touches the button. Like, I love that. Like, and again, like, even though Coach lost, in my eyes, I'm like, I look and I wonder if his competitor would have that if this competitor was pushed to his limit. Yeah. Like, I wonder those things. Yeah. And, because in absolute divisions, there are disparities and there are, like, quote unquote advantages and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has their own set of advantages. But if I see that, again, it's the ultimate win.
You know why I think also it might be so inspiring? Because even though he lost, he gave it his all, and all of us watching feels like he's doing it for us.
Dude, it's
Because what would be the reason? Like
I don't know. Tell me.
like what is coach's reason for showing up the way that he does? Like I don't think it's selfish. I think he needs to be our example, and I think he's aware of that. So he's like, I'm not going to give up
Yes.
in front of my guys.
Yeah, I
Even
believe that
though
about him.
everybody knows that I'm probably not going to get this,
Yes.
it's not about the outcome. It's about the effort, and it's
Yes.
about me doing it for my team.
Yeah. And he says it a lot of times, like at the end of classes. He's like, I won't ask you to go to a competition, and I won't also be there fighting with you. You know,
Yeah.
he says, like, you can ascertain a lot from someone's communication. Like, he could say anything. He could say anything at the end of class and say, you know, hey guys, let's go compete and let's give it our best. But, you know, he chooses to say, hey, I'll be there with you and I'll be right along your side fighting with you. Like, that does speak to his psyche. That does speak to that attitude where he's like, I'm an example and I will
Yeah.
lead by example.
Yeah.
Which is the rarest of the rare. In any sport, forget jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's rare to land on someone who understands what it means to lead by
You know,
example.
I think oftentimes in team, the team captain isn't always the most talented player,
No.
but he is that guy.
Yes.
He's that guy that's going to be like, I'm here for you guys.
Yes.
I'm here for you guys, and we're going to do it together.
Yes.
You know, it's almost like if you're saying, so obviously coach is like a superstar jiu-jitsu
Athlete.
player
Yes.
in the community, but yeah.
There is definitely a huge element there, which is, as the leader,
Yeah.
you are more selfless than anyone.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. You know what's another thing about fighting, okay? So coach fights for good. He'll go all the way. He'll fight to the very end. Even though he knows that he's losing, he'll continue to fight. I think you can only do that if you fight for good.
Right.
Because if you were fighting for an outcome, let's just call it for bad, then you wouldn't be fighting all the way to the end.
No.
As soon as you would see that the outcome that you get is not out of reach,
Done.
you would be done.
Dude, I can't throw out the names, but there was a scenario yesterday, because it's actually not names, it's organizations. But we were in the hunt yesterday at the tournament I was just hearing this at the end, for first place overall as an adult team.
Yeah.
And again, there is the whole situation here where we have other schools that have multiple schools, and all of those schools all feed points to the same kind of organization.
Which is impossible.
It's an impossible situation.
Do people understand? Okay, let's just explain it, okay?
Yes.
So at a tournament, the team who gets first place as a team is
Yes.
the team who accumulates the most points
Yes.
as a team, right?
Correct.
So if you have, let's say, 100 players and they all get, now is a point a win or is a point on the match on the mat?
So the way that the points are allocated towards your team
Yeah.
is by either winning a gold medal for your team,
Okay.
a silver medal for your team, or a bronze medal for your team.
Okay, gotcha.
All other wins mean nothing. And there's a huge
Okay.
disparity between gold, silver, and bronze. Gold banks 9 points for a team.
Okay.
Silver banks 3.
Okay.
And bronze banks 1 point for your team.
Okay.
So unless you medal, you do not contribute points to your team.
Okay.
You must medal to contribute points to your team.
Okay. So, if you have 100 players on your team and they all win a gold medal,
900 points.
900 points. But if your other team only has 25 players, they could win every player in that team could win a gold medal,
And you're still gonna.
they still wouldn't be in it.
Yes.
So that's how the point
Yes.
system works.
Yes, and that
The
is
bigger
exactly,
the team,
Yes.
the more chance your team has to get on the podium.
Yes.
Not necessarily because you have better players, but just because you're going to accumulate more points, just
Yes.
because you have more people
Yes.
competing on the mats.
Yes, and what leads to more people? Having more schools.
Having more schools.
So, and this is not a negative against them. They're operating within the system. This is the system.
Yeah.
So it's not. We're not being negative towards them. This is the system they're operating within. But let's say Gracie Baja has many schools. They have many schools. So 5, 6 schools. And when they show up to a tournament, those 5, 6 schools bring their school members, and anytime any one of them wins, they contribute to the one Gracie Baja team.
Yeah.
So you have an affiliation like Gracie Baja who has 5 or 6 schools bringing in, 20, 30 guys from each school and girls, and all of those people attribute points to that one team. Whereas there are other schools, us being one of them, who only have one. Like it's a
One location,
one team,
bro.
one team, with the little asterisks that from time to time, maybe our friends from Halifax will send a couple of people to come and compete.
I mean, it's rare. Who, Graham?
Yeah, Graham
Are
will
there
come.
other guys?
It's pretty much Graham.
Graham,
you know, but Graham is supreme
gets gold.
leader.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
So Graham and
He's
and
like the
a lot of
Viking
times-
who just fucking
yeah, he comes in.
drops
he's like-
off the ship, fucking anybody, anytime.
I wish I could do like a full hour on Graham. Like he's
Yeah.
the guy is amazing. He's incredible. So we are in that scenario. And yesterday we were in the hunt. All of this, well, to get to this one little point, we were in the hunt for the first place trophy as an adult team. To
Yeah.
be clear, because we don't have any children. Like we have like 1 or 2 kids
Yeah.
maybe that compete. So we're in the adult hunt for the trophy. We were like first or second. We're just 12 points I think away. So like a gold and a silver away from being in first place. But there was a team farther down the list there that as soon as they were no longer in the running, they just leave. They don't even stay at the tournament because the outcome that they're looking for is the trophy.
Wait a minute, they stopped competing?
Well, no. But at one point, their leadership, I guess, or maybe not their leadership, but at one point it's just not. They're like, hey, we're not in the runnings. People are just thinking like this. We're not in the running for the trophy, so we don't need to stay here. Like which makes perfect sense.
But everyone was done competing?
Towards the
I
end
mean,
of it.
sometimes you just want to go to
Yeah,
the
you
restaurant.
just want to
bro.
go home. Yeah, I'm with you. But again, there's a mindset of like we're going in for trophies.
Yep.
And there's a mindset, that's kind of what I was trying to communicate in a crappy way. And then there's a mindset of like, hey, we're coming in here for the growth.
Yeah.
The trophies are second to the growth. It just so happens.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't. But what I'm trying to point out is the trophies are silly. It's silly because of this affiliation stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, it's awesome that we win first place, second place, like that we've won a few of these with one school. Like I feel like that's an awesome accolade. But at the end of the day, it's silly because if you just get a bunch of schools, let's say I were to gather up all of the single schools and be like, guys, listen, you're alone, you're alone, you're alone, you're alone. How about we just become an affiliation called Pillow Affiliation?
Yeah.
Let's just freaking do that. They can't stop us. We'll be 5, and at least we could compete way more against like these other affiliations. I mean, why would they say no? Why would they say no? It's like, all right, sure. Then now you have a real problem scenario that starts to unfold.
But also, there is something so cool about us being a little gym,
Yeah, it's epic.
going up, because it is the story of a little nation resisting an empire,
It's
right?
literally that.
Like Afghanistan. Whoever goes into Afghanistan never is able to conquer Afghanistan. They always get chewed up and spit out, bro.
That's
Or
hilarious.
like these small villages in France that stood up against the Roman Empire.
Epic.
Couldn't take him down.
Epic. I love
Like
that.
everything is red except for this small little fucking village
Yeah.
that remains blue.
I
You
love
know?
that story too, yeah.
It's so dope, bro.
Yeah, it is so dope. And that is honestly how I feel when we compete. Like that we're in the conversation. Again, we've actually brought home last year 2 first place trophies. So despite it all, in the adults, 2? Yeah, they're behind you. They're the 2 bigger ones are the 2 first place trophies.
From yesterday?
No, yesterday we got second. We were
Oh, okay.
12 points out of first. Again, with Gracie Baja taking the first place, but that whole scenario.
Is that it for yesterday already?
No, it hasn't
Okay,
been
it's still
delivered
there.
yet.
Okay, cool. Beautiful.
So now we're
man.
going to have 2 firsts and 2 seconds
Yeah.
in the last year and a half. And we were 12 points away.
Yeah.
You know? It's close. And,
Yeah.
and honestly, we could have done it, but that's not the result I care for. And if I start putting energy towards it, it's going to become that. So like I need to also safeguard myself from this. I don't care. Like it is what it is. It's awesome. We get a little thing and we get to tell people the story, but the truth is if we put the
Dude,
jiu-jitsu at the top, these things will come.
You know, I really think that that's why the fighters who are religious always give it up to God, because they do not want to care, because they know that if they do care, it's going to take
a
their
slippery
focus
slope.
away from what's gotten them there in the first place.
It's a slippery slope, yes, man. To act like it doesn't matter to me is a lie. It plays on me, but I need to shun it.
But it probably plays to, like I was saying before, the insecure part that's
Yes.
also following you
Of
up.
course.
You know, so
Yes.
like, I think those fighters, every time they get an achievement, they always take it and they say, this isn't for my insecure part. This is for the power greater than myself that is taking care of my insecure part.
Amazing.
Because I cannot do this. I'm going to ruin this.
It's true, dude.
Right?
You're
Dude,
so right.
I love the whole,
Yes. Yes.
it's the
Oh,
best,
wow.
bro. It
Tell
means
me
so
that.
much.
Yes.
Not me.
Yes.
They go,
I know.
They go,
I just love
not
hearing
me,
it. Yes.
God.
Yes. Epic.
It's the best,
It
bro.
is the best,
It's like,
yes.
it's a protection against our own
Vulnerabilities.
little disgusting character defects, you know, that we all have as humans, you know?
Yes.
You just give it up. You
Yes.
just give it up right away,
I love it.
because you know it's going to destroy you.
Yes, absolutely. And it is so destructive once you taste that. Power, all these things, like they.
Man, we have, like, honestly, dude, one of the greatest examples of that is Conor McGregor.
Tell me. Oh, anti-example.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. Yeah.
You know?
At the other end. Yes.
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You can do it for,
He's like Icarus.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it for maybe 4, 5, 6 years, but just look at the crash McGregor went through. It's incredible, you know. But then you look at a champion like GSP. GSP is still a shining example of
Dude,
a great
he's in the
human being.
community. He's training. He still trains with all these guys. Like part of the boys, just not living. He's still. I don't know. I don't know, but dude, he's still kind of living the same purpose.
I think so.
It seems that way.
It seems that way, yeah. And you know, like,
Dude, you remember the GSP door? Should we check?
is he here?
One day, for everybody watching, that is the GSP door, also known as our front entrance. And we'd have to check that door pretty regularly because you never know, right?
I think one day GSP is going to
One
walk
day,
through that door.
GSP might walk through that door, sit on this crummy couch, and have a conversation with me and Max.
It could happen.
But we got to just double check. No, wait. No, it's a bus. All right.
That's a bus.
Not today. But one day, GSP will walk through that door, and we will have him here.
You know, I hear him say all the time, I'm lucky because I'm what did he say? He goes, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, and I'm happy.
Epic.
You know? And he's not a guy that flashes his wealth either. It's almost like he doesn't even want to show that.
Incredible.
Because I think that he knows that it's actually not about that. This is actually just the result of him doing the right thing over a long period of time or something.
He's amazing.
He has a
He
great.
has it.
I think anyone who is successful has a great story, right? Of like being it very, like we're saying, right? It's always tough at the end, and then you keep on going, and then you learn, and then with the right attitude, you can go everywhere. But if your attitude turns bad, then you turn into a McGregor, and it all comes falling down.
It's true. It's true. And, the small thing inside of you can grow to a tumor, and it could just take you over. And that's where you have to safeguard.
I think that's why you got to give it up.
Yeah.
You
There's a lot of...
You can't hold on to these
No.
things. They're going to destroy you from the inside.
Yes. And you have to have some experience with this to understand those demons and how to quail that.
Yeah, I think so.
If you don't, like, it's so easy to get lost in the power. It gets easy to get lost in that sentiment. And, again, like tying this all back in, that is part of what we learned in a very silly way when we compete. You either put that voice down or you allow it to take over, destroy what you're building towards, what you want to accomplish. It can destroy all of those things if left unchecked.
And I think you also need to understand that what you're building towards and what you're trying to accomplish isn't a material thing. It's inner growth, and it's so much less obvious what that is when it's non-tangible, right? Like you really have to, man. It's not a straight path, dude. It's those mental reps. I think it's through those mental reps that you get to understand, like, why am I doing all of this anyway?
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's some people that are doing all of this, and it's not obvious why they're doing it.
Ah, yeah. Deep why. You need a purpose. And that's what it is, Max. So, we spoke a lot. We didn't answer any questions today.
We have one question.
You want to do one real quick or what? We can call it.
We've been talking for an hour.
We've been talking.
But someone left a question on...
Let's leave it as a teaser for the next one.
Yeah. Someone left a question on our Instagram, on a Instagram reel, right? So let me just read it. It'll be a teaser for the next one.
Read on, and while you say that, I will mention to the members here, we will soon have a very fancy box.
Yep.
It will be the White Belt Podcast Questions box. We're also going to have a fancy pen attached to it, where you're going to use that fancy pen to write out your questions, slip it into the box. You can leave your name. You can make it anonymous. That's up to you. That's the whole point of the box. But, yeah, I'm actually super excited to see this box.
Yeah, it's... the box is... The box is at the Jean Coutu on Park in the basement.
Nice.
Because UPS tried to deliver it.
Yes.
And apparently, like, I don't know, what do they need? A signature?
Yeah,
It's a
sometimes
freaking $60 product, bro.
Oh, 60? We paid $60 for a box. Max, you're no longer in charge of finance. It's 60.
No, I mean, I think it was like 34, but like for sure there's like some like, fees attached to it. So I just threw in...
I love it.
I just threw in that number. Okay, so...
Let's hear the teaser question. And do you know who it came from?
It's from Bass Schism.
I don't know, but sounds epic.
You know this guy? The first one?
I have no idea.
Maybe he trains here. So anyways, his question is, it's kind of a very simple question. We can just throw out the answer now. He says, do you think slams should be legal in black belt no gi? Well, here's the answer. It's legal in ADCC. Slams are legal. I mean, I don't think are they legal here at SAU?
No, at SAU we have IBJJF rules.
Yeah, so it depends on the organizations.
At SAU we have IBJJF rules for the gi and ADCC rules for no gi. And I think that gets unlocked kind of like at intermediary or experts. But you know what? That is a great question because it does feed to kind of like the bigger thing, which is in general.
Does jiu-jitsu work on the streets?
Yeah, literally. That is literally the answer.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you can't hold on to a closed guard if you're fighting someone on the street. If he slams you down on concrete, you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah. And the truth is, look, there is a difference between the sport and the street.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu as a whole obviously is navigating towards the sport.
Yes.
There are pros and cons towards that. The pros, in a very silly way, like, hey, we're trying to be safe. There's safety here. Like nobody,
Yeah.
most people have to go to work the next day. Nobody needs a broken neck. Nobody needs a broken back.
Yeah.
Fair. Now, what are we giving up? We're giving up a little bit of the self-defense
Being a
stuff.
tough
and
guy,
being
I guess?
Tough. It's like, all right, man, I get it. You know, you want to slam people. That's part of it. Like, you know, teach the person, like, hey, don't get into this position against me.
Yeah.
But that's like telling these wrestlers that are epic, like, don't go belly down on the mat to avoid getting your shoulders pinned. Or these judo guys, the same thing. It's like, why don't you go after them? It's like, who would do that? Become a starfish on the mat.
Yeah.
Like, the same
Yeah.
could be said
True.
about
Yeah,
wrestlers.
it's
Like,
true.
wow, kick
Yeah.
him in the face and smash his face against the sidewalk. Like, you're calling out things that are like necessary for the sport to evolve. Now, if you want to do pure self-defense, pure street, I don't know what, bro, there are other avenues for you. Like, why are you choosing sport jiu-jitsu and trying to turn it into something that it's not? It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. But just go find what you're looking for. Don't morph this.
What is that thing that they're looking for? Because I feel like if you're signing up to a gym, whatever the martial art is, it's always going to be contained within
Borders.
a secure environment.
Absolutely. You know, like, okay, stop putting your headgear on. That's not real. You're a boxer. That's not real, dude.
Or
you know,
like-
what's real is me cracking you in the head.
Yeah. Or like even like Krav Maga people. I don't think they're actually sparring. It's MMA. MMA is the closest thing that you will get to self-defense.
Absolutely.
That's
Just
what
go
it
do
is.
that.
Yeah. So
Why are you trying to turn jiu-jitsu into, like,
exactly?
leave us
exactly,
alone, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
If you really want to slam someone, maybe your sport is MMA.
Slash, that's not what we're training here. You know, like, you're missing the point here.
Yeah, yeah.
You're trying to turn it into something it isn't. It's like the no-gi grapplers who keep complaining about the gi grapplers, saying like, hey, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of million arguments. They're like, pulling guard is silly, or
Yeah, or like this would never work on this
on the street. But again,
it is so
we're not,
silly, bro.
that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Slash, if you want all of these things, you don't want people to pull guard. You don't want, somebody gave this answer on Instagram and I was just like, light bulb. I have the perfect answer for you.
Yeah.
Go do wrestling. If that's what you want, dude, there is actually a sport that is perfect for you. It's called wrestling. Go do that. You know, like, if not,
But-
these are the rules of this sport.
But you know
and
what
deal.
though? You're gonna go do wrestling, and then you're gonna find out that wrestling has a whole bunch of silly rules.
Absolutely, that you
that
can complain
that,
about.
that don't make sense if you're like, oh, this would never work on the street, and then what? You would just be in another community that sort of talks shit about this rule and that rule.
Yes, it can't be perfect. It just can't be, because we have to decide, what are we putting weight towards? Safety, protocols, learning the art within certain confines. Like, if we're attributing weight to those things, these are the rules that come with that. Because we don't want your knee to blow
Yeah.
out. We don't want
Yeah.
you to be put on your head so that you're quadriplegic. Like, we don't want these things, because we want you to develop your actual skills. So we have to value those things, and so the rule sets were made within those confines. Now, you want to take away all those things and turn it into a street fight? Dude, no. Like, go find something else to do or somewhere else to complain. Like, it's kind of silly. But I understand that it could be aggravating because nothing is perfect. That is fair. But live within the not perfect, dude. Nothing is ever perfect.
Yeah.
Live within this. Like, stop being so silly. Like, find your way here. Nothing is
Yeah.
perfect.
And also, like, those type of conversations take us away from the bigger purpose of why we're here, which is what we were talking about throughout our entire podcast now, right? About, like, it's about growth. You know? It doesn't matter if you can slam.
And that's easy. Just freaking, that's easy.
Yeah.
You learn nothing.
Exactly. You're not gonna be a better person because you pick someone up and slammed them on the ground.
Dude, if you're in an actual altercation and it comes to that, and you know you want to risk what comes with that.
Yeah,
sure,
dude.
duh.
I hope you never have to do that. By
Exactly.
the way, That's actually, hey, if you pick up someone on the street and slam him on the ground and he gets concussed and get into a coma, man, we're in a civilized society, dude. You're going to jail.
Dude, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. Like, anyways, there's a bunch of these stories. Like, in any fight, like, anyways, in anything, I could lightly punch you in the head, and for whatever reason, you have some sort of something in you that like got triggered, and then you end up dying. God forbid. Like, I will be held accountable for that. You know?
Yeah.
It was like, did I intend to kill you when I punched you? Absolutely not. But then it led to death. Like, there's some laws out there that could see me going to jail for life. So you're risking a whole lot when you do these silly things. Maybe it's better that we don't teach you how to slam.
And again, it's like, it's such a silly argument. It's not going to do anything for you or your life. I mean, the only thing that it could do is what we're describing now. It might just encourage you to one day go to jail.
Yeah, literally,
you know? Because you didn't yield the way to some fucking angry guy who was having a bad day, you know?
You know, so there is like, and within some rule, if it is within the rule set, like in ADCC, where they are allowed to slam, you just need to be conscious of that. So now it's like, all right, this guy stood up from my close guard, decision time. You want to take this? Like, if you're ready for it, you are now going to start adjusting your path
True.
to avoid and to, you know, you're not going to hold on to it because you're like, I'm holding on to this because like I have the security of knowing that you're not allowed to slam me. I understand. But for the general here, if we're going to keep working on the sport of jiu-jitsu, we just wanted to eliminate that as a possibility. Now, if it is within like these bigger leagues or the no-gi that is the rule, you know what? You gotta work around it, and you gotta be able to work around it. It will change. It will change the path of your game. So I guess now, in a weird way, like I'm arguing, not a different point, but it's just, hey, accept the confines of the rules that we're giving you. That's what this comes down to. If the slams are allowed, then you know what? You're gonna have to change your game. Like somebody gets up, dude. You're.
That's kind of the other thing is that when these things are allowed, which, when these things are allowed, they happen, but they happen probably less than you think because now guys are just smarter than that.
Yeah, like, no.
You're not going to hold on to a close guard when someone stands up. You're going to break it and try to go for, like a double leg like whatever it is.
Exactly. So it'll change things, and then people will find something else to complain about. But for the sport of jiu-jitsu, if you're operating within the sport, just operate within the rule set. Wrestling, as we said earlier, has some silly things. Judo has some silly things. Like, all sports have these silly things.
Yeah.
But you focused on the wrong thing. Like, just take it and grow, you know? So let's do it, Max.
Yep, that's it.
That's all she wrote for today.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Sorry about our voice. Well, my voice, sorry.
Yeah, February 16, Sunday, February 16, we're getting 30 centimeters of snow.
On the back of 30 other centimeters of snow.
Yeah, the city is going to be destroyed. There are snow banks.
Yes.
Oh, Sean. Low battery. I hope it's still recording.
It is. We're good.
I don't know if we can see the snowfall, but it never looks that bad when you're just filming like this, right?
Yeah, but you can look at people's faces crossing the street and just trying to like protect their face.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. Now we got the snow. Yeah. It's a blizzard out there.
It'll be what it'll be.
Yeah. Be safe, guys.
More questions.
Yeah. Peace.